Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Man, it feels like I haven't uploaded since last year. Crazy. Well, I've been really into Edison format lately, and I figured I'd share a deck that I stole and then altered a lot from a person named Jeff in the Edison format Discord and the Black Salvo channel. Thank you very much for the base of the deck list. It's very fun. This is, I don't really know what to call it. I guess it would just be Jinzo Monster Mash. As you can see, we got a lot going on here. We got Black Salvo. We got the Jinzo OTK. We've got a lot of Monster Mash pieces. We're on Prisma to dump Cannon Soldier as our Black Salvo target. Because I fucking hate Dekoichi. I think that card is way too slow for this kind of deck. I'm going without a script for this, so if things sound a little clunky, if things feel a little off, my explanations aren't perfect, that's why. I'm not very good without a script, and much more importantly, if I do put a script together for this, it's going to take me even longer than it already has. I've had this in the works for weeks. But here you can see, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Black Salvo. It's just a simple normal summon, revive a level 4 Dark Machine. Defense position is effects are negated. That does actually come up sometimes, but very rarely. It's just a 1 card, level 7, usually Black Rose, but sometimes Herbellum if you need to go on the offensive, but we'll get into that later. 3 Caius. I was on 2, but I kept finding myself needing Caius more and more, and it's not like we're short on free special summons. We're running 6 in the deck, and that's not counting the Jinzo stuff. Next up is our brick for Black Salvo. We got a single copy of Cannon Soldier. We very rarely use the effect, but sometimes we do, and that's extraordinarily funny. 1 Card Trooper, just a very good way to mill 3 every turn, and it floats into a draw. Very nice. Chaos Sork, because we're going to be loading up our graveyard through the other cards in our deck, through Future Fusion, through Magical Merchant. We're not going to have any shortage of lights and darks in grave for a kill turn, and Sork is just such a clean out to a lot of cards that this deck doesn't really have a great time dealing with. Stuff like Stardust Dragon, stuff like Absolute Zero. Chaos Sork is just a really clean point click going, right? Cyber Dragon times 2. You need it for Future Fusion, so we're at 2. And also, sometimes it's just nice to have as a free special summon. More often than not, I'm using cards like Cyber Dragon, cards like Infernal Prodigy, cards like Gallus to check for Rykos to ensure that I can safely set my my flip monsters when I'm going second. Which is kind of an obvious use, but like it gets the job done, and it's very, very good. 3 copies of Elemental Hero Prisma. Prisma is the reason why we're on Cannon Soldier over Dekoichi. Cannon Soldier is named by Labyrinth Tank, so Prisma can send it directly from the deck to the graveyard, which is very nice. We get functionally 5 copies through our Elemental Hero Stratos of Cannon Soldier, and that just makes it very, very consistent and a lot faster than Black Salvo with Dekoichi. Unless, of course, you have Stratos as your way to Cannon Soldier, in which case it's, pretty whack. But, Stratos it's just a 5th copy. It's just for consistency. And also it's able to grab Infernal Prodigy, which is another free special for our Caius, for our Jinzos, which is just very, very good. It's also, coincidentally, a Dark Monster for Chaos Orc, and for the Dark Creator, which we'll get to later. 3 Gallus, because we're on a Monster Mash style strategy. Gallus is very strong. I've legitimately burned people out of the game with Gallus several times. It's hilarious. We're not playing any back row. Gorz is a must play. Triple Jinzo and Triple Jinzo Returner. Jinzo is mostly just here for returner purposes, but sometimes you just tribute summon it, and that just carries you. Jinzo Returner, I do minorly cheat in some of the replays that I have for you today. I did not realize that this card destroyed it during my end phase, so I thought that if I flipped it off a merchant and special summoned a Jinzo, it would go during the end phase of that turn. I don't believe it really comes up. It's a cheat in favor of my opponent, so I don't really mind. But just remember, if you flip this off a merchant or off a Ryko, this will keep the Jinzo. 3 Magical Merchant, it's the most efficient way of just getting a ton of cards into the graveyard. I really cannot stress enough how powerful Merchant is, especially when these are the 4 spell cards we play. 1 Future Fusion, and 3 Pot of Avarice. I don't think I should have to explain to you why Avarice is so strong in a Monster Mash deck. And as for Future Fusion, your standard pile is going to be Reveal Overdragon, send Cyber Dragon, 3 Jinzo, 3 Jinzo Returner, 1 Cannon Soldier if you can, and 1 Quibbled Hedgehog. Um, we'll get to that later. A Necrogardna or a graveyard deck. We get a bunch of cards into the graveyard. I'm not the biggest Necrogardna fan. I find it ends up in my hand a little too often, but it's so useful for dealing with cards like Vanities. 1 Plagues. It's an absurdly strong tuner that has inherent graveyard synergies. Also, what's funny is it can stack the deck. So let's say you've got like a Trag stranded in your hand and you need to go for a kill turn. You can stack it with Plague Spreader to the top, and then Gallus, burn your opponent for 2,000, and now you have a level 5 synchro, and and you just burned your opponent for 2,000, which is just it wins games sometimes. Quibble Hedgehog, it's also a bit of a brick like Darkna, but it raises the ceiling of our deck and it raises the threat level of our tuners so much. It turns Black Salvo from a 1 card Black Rose to a 2 card Mistworm, and Mistworm is absurd. 1 critter, it finds Merchant, it finds Gallus, it finds everything that we could want. It finds Salvo too. You really can't go without saying it. 2 Dark Creator, it's a free special if we have an empty field and 5 or more darks engraved, and you can banish a dark to reborn a dark. Notably, this thing can summon itself as long as it was initially properly special summoned. So I have won games by going special Dark Creator, special Dark Creator, special Jinzo. But that's pretty high roll. Usually you're only summoning 1, but it's just such a strong card if you can summon it. And usually you can. 1 Trag, again, same reason as Gores. We're playing no back row. We need some way to survive. Again, we're 1 Future Fusion to send a bunch of machines to the graveyard and get all 3 of our Jinzos on field. And 3 copies of Pot of Avarice to recycle pieces, get more cards into rotation, give us more targets for Merchant, and much more importantly, give us advantage. We need advantage. In the sideboard, we got 2 copies of Raikou. This would be in the main deck, but I found that I really don't like setting Raikou going second. I really, really don't. It's such a loss in tempo, and it just loses so hard to an opponent's set Raikou that I just don't like using it at all. So I sideboard it for when I know that I'm going first, and for matchups where I know it's really strong, stuff like Gladiator Beast, you can Raikou their guy. It just comes up nice. For dragons, for all that fun stuff. 2 copies of DD Crow for graveyard strategies. I don't think I should have to really explain DD Crow. 2 copies of Electric Virus. This deck has a bit of an issue dealing with dragons. So because I don't really have the most ways to get over the dragons, I figured why not just take 1 and use it to get rid of everything else, right? And then sack it off for like a Caius in main phase 2. 1 Bestiary, a Mind Control, and a Brain Control to deal with Gladiator Beast to go alongside our Geyseris in the extra deck. Gladiator Beast is a hard matchup, so we're sideboarding some tech for that. 1 Trunade for heavy back row decks, 1 Vortex for frogs, 2 Knock for decks that really like Raikou, like Dekoichi, Hamster, pretty much anything that's setting flip monsters, and 2 copies of Light Imprisoning Mirror for fairies and Lightsworn. In the extra, we got 2 Chimera Tech, Fortress Dragon, 1 Chimera Tech Over Dragon. Notably, we're not on Overload Fusion, so if Future Fusion ever resolves and summons this thing, we are probably losing the game, so be careful about that. 1 Geyseris, as mentioned before, for the Gladiator Beast sideboard part. Labyrinth Tank for Cannon Soldier. And for synchros, we've got a 5 in Cataster, 7s in Ancient Fairy, Black Rose, and Urbellum, 4 in Armory Arm, 6s of Brio and Goya, a 9 in Mistworm, and our 8s are Stardust and Thought Ruler. Here's the first replay against Dragons. I was a bit slow on the pause. Looks like our opponent has opened. I don't know if our opponent has opened decent or broken. I don't play the deck. But they've opted to set a Masked Dragon, and we have drawn Cannon Soldier. Damn, we're good. We draw Prisma for turn. It'll go great with the Cannon Soldier in our hand. But we're going to normal summon Sangan. I suspect this is a Raikou, so I'm going in blind. So I just go ahead and run into it, taking 100. Bit of a mistake. I probably could have set Merchant, but I think this is the correct play every time. If you suspect a Raikou, just send something else in. If I had a Cyber Dragon, I would have used that instead. They're going to draw a second bottomless, and they're going to normal summon Wyvern and switch Mass Dragon to attack. Off the Sangan, we grab a Callus. I'm not 100% certain why I went with Gallus over like another merchant or something. I guess I just didn't want them to know I was on Magical Merchant. We're going to set a bottomless. So we'll switch the token to attack and run into the Mass Dragon for 400. They special a Totem Dragon, and I attack into it with Gores, thinking that I can just cut them on the special summon effect. Then I set the Merchant and pass turn. They summon Red MD, bring back the Totem Dragon, and tribute for Yamada Dragon. They're going to punch over the Gores for 100. Then punch over the token for 800. And draw 3. End of turn, they forgot to bring back the Yamada Dragon, so they'll go ahead and do that now. Now for turn, we haven't really drawn great, so we need this Merchant to go off. And we've hit Jinzo Returner with no target, Gallus, Card Trooper, Plagues. Not fantastic, but not something we can't work with. We're going to Avarice back everything but Plagues. And we find a Jinzo. We're going to bring back the Plague Spreader, then activate Gallus, sending the Quillbolt Hedgehog off the top. That's going to burn for 400, trigger the Quillbolt. We're going to special summon it. That's 4, 7. We're going to make Black Rose. They'll bottomless the Black Rose, which is very unfortunate. Then we special summon Fur Prodigy. We haven't normaled yet, so Jinzo comes out. Then summon Totem Dragon, summon White Knight, and Kawaki Mirror Drago in hand probably seals it, unfortunately. Merchant is going to need to go crazy here. We hit Avarice again. Our opponent keeps thumbs upping before we declare targets, so that's why I'm not telling them what we're doing. We're going to normal summon the Cannon Soldier, burn for 500. I'm trying to bluff the scores, make them scared of attacking, but unfortunately, as I said earlier, Drago kind of stops that from being something we can handle. They reveal Yamada Dragon, and we can't beat this. So we go next. Now we're going first this time, and our hand looks much better. We have drawn Necrogardner, but we haven't drawn Cannon Soldier, so Prisma is live. We're going to opt to just normal summon Card Trooper mill 3. We hit Future Fusion and Returner and Cyber Dragon, so pretty shit mills. And they've got a Future Fusion on the way. They Dust Shoot us, which is pretty devastating given the state of our hand. And for some reason, they take Prisma over the Raikou. We're going to mill 3 more, hitting Prisma, Merchant, Gores. Not amazing, but hey, not awful. Then we set the Necrogardner trying to bluff a Raikou. They draw and pass, which we draw a Jinzo. We're going to mill 3 more, hitting a Merchant, Jinzo, Caius. Then tribute off the Necrogardner for Jinzo. We get in for 19 and 24. Pass, they get Future Fusion here, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but nothing we can't handle. Now, their Future Fusion pile here is a little sketchy. They go for 2 Wyvern, a Totem Dragon, Red Med, and White Knight. They're not going for Prime Material for some reason, and this will ultimately cost them the game. They special summon Red Eyes, Dark Dispel Dragon in the end phase. We mill 3 of Sangan Gallus Prisma. We set the Raikou, and they're going to draw a Mass Dragon. And unfortunately, Future Fusion does go down to 1. Next turn, it will come out. We're going to take a shitload and draw a card, and take 600 and lose our Jinzo. They'll set the Solemn Judgment. We'll set a Returner. And they lose the 50-50 on the Mind Control. So this will mean that we survive the turn. We get to pop the 5-headed with Raikou, and survive thanks to Trag. They tried a Royal Oppression, but this is during the damage step, so they can't. Trag gets destroyed. We get Returner back. And we attack for 600 direct. normal summon Plagues, special summon Catastor, and unfortunately we have the Gallus for lethal. We'll just summon the Dark Crater first, and that's it. Now going into game 3, our hand is looking deeply medium with a Black Salvo to boot. They're going to set Totem Dragon just passing. I know that that can't be a Raikou, so I'm free to set my Merchant. They'll normal summon Wyvern, flipping the Merchant. We hit big. Hitting Cannon Soldier is actually huge thanks to this Black Salvo. Misclick there, special summon the Cannon Soldier, making Black Rose. They don't Karma Cut here, which I think was probably a mistake. Because now we get to put back the Black Rose for next turn. We're going to discard to hand size the returner. I don't really need to commit to the board. Unfortunately, this does open me up to Yamada Dragon. They're going to draw 3 more. Set a Bottomless and pass. We'll special summon Infernal Prodigy and then normal summon Jinzo. This is turning off almost all their back row. We'll just run over the Wyvern, set the Merchant and pass. Flip the Merchant. We're going to hit pretty big. Hitting Plagues is huge. We're going to tribute summon for a second Jinzo and get in again. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to stop the Future Fusion, so they'll go ahead and send 5. This time their stack is, let's see here. It was Wyvern, Dark Display. It wasn't, it's still no Prime Material Dragon, which is what it is. We're going to Avarice back 5 again. Wait for people to declare their targets, please. We're going to Tribute Summon Cyber Dragon, and then Special Summon back Plagues. That'll get us to a Black Rose Dragon. We'll Pot of Avarice. And we unfortunately don't have enough Darks engraved for the Dark Crater, but we're not under much pressure. They're going to get in with Yamada Dragon again. We'll special summon Gores. They'll draw 4, but unfortunately, Jinzo in hand wins the game. Next up, we're against Gladiator Beasts, and we have opened deeply medium. Thanks to Cannon Soldier in our opener with a returner. We're going to go ahead and hit pretty small off that Merchant, which sucks ass. They're going to summon Bestiari and just set 4. Gallus goes through. They take 12. Then I normal summon Jinzo, and this will allow me to walk over everything, except that they have a Book of Moon. So, you know what? Sometimes they're just better than you. They're going to summon Laquari Rediari and banish the Jinzo. We're going to Avarice back everything but Returner. Without a Jinzo, the Returner isn't really doing much. The most we could get is 2 of them. Will Future Fusion? I don't know why they let this resolve, given that they have an MST set, but I don't know. We only get 1 returner, sadly, and then we lose our Jinzo. We'll flip Merchant. We're guaranteed to hit an Avarice here. And we do after a very large number of mills. We're going to go for Rediari. We're going to make Heraclinos. I'm freaking out, because I'm trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to get over this Heraclinos. Then I realize that Heraclinos needs to discard, and I just fire the Pot of Avarice. We're fine. Special summon the Dark Crater, bring back Jinzo, and discard for hand size. End of turn, they MST the Future Fusion. I don't know why they do this. I guess they're scared of, like, I don't even know. I don't even know. Anyways, we Black Rose the field. That's going to clear the field. Now we special summon Dark Crater, Jinzo, but our opponent scoops it up before them. I don't know why they didn't stick around for game 2. All I know is this is cool, and I wanted to show it off. Next up, we've got a replay against another Giga Chad on Black Salvo. We're going to set the Merchant. They set a Dekoichi. Unfortunately, our mills are still shit. Banishing the Dekoichi is very good, because they'll burn for 1,000. They take 24, and Gores is a bit of an issue here, unfortunately. We'll take 27 between the 2 of them. Unfortunately, no way to really deal with that. They're going to Caius, our card trooper, and I just scoop them up. We've lost too much tempo. Going into game 2, once again, we've drawn a brick in returner. How do we do it? We'll get the Cannon Soldier, so Black Salvo's online. Normal summon the Sangan. It's the Koichi. Get in for 1,000 and pass turn. They're going to special summon Cyber Dragon, set the Dekoichi. I don't know why. They do that in Medium just one, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, Dekoichi does have 1,000 points, so Sangan will not be able to walk over it. We'll add a Merchant to hand. Go ahead and just set one pass. Ryo's a bit of an issue. I have to take a second here to look up the ruling of how this works with Ryo. Unfortunately, the Avarice just goes to the graveyard alongside the rest of the cards. We'll take 19, special summon the Gores. Bit of a cheat here on the opponent's part. You can't Ryo Gores because it is an... I don't remember exactly why, but you can't Ryo Gores, which is a bit of an issue. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter. So then they get to brain control our Herbalum, which hand loops us. It sucks, but we're getting it back, is what it is. And they don't really have a good way to get rid of it, so they have to special summon Chaos Sword. They're making Stardust, setting Judgment, and passing turn. They're going to Judgment the Dark Creator, so our Sangan stays in the grave. Then we'll Avarice back as much as we can, trying to set up for the best draws we can get. Unfortunately, these are not the best ones, but they will get the job done. We'll make Thought Ruler to run over the Stardust, gaining 25. They lose 200. This is a part where I really wish that I could use Cannon Soldier's effect to get in a little bit extra burn damage, but I have to leave it on the field, which means that they are able to Goyo here, and that's a pretty big punish. But thankfully we have Chaos Sork. They are going to gain a shitload of life points. I can't really out both Chaos Sork and Goyo, which sucks, but it is what it is. They're going to gain some life, but we're not giving them much life per turn. And ultimately we're generating more advantage than they're getting in life points. So we'll go ahead and mill a shitload, get an Avarice, trigger our Returner, special summon the Jinzo. It goes. It shouldn't have, but it did. Because I thought this card was significantly worse. We'll shuffle back the Chaos Sork and the Caius, trying to just get as many outs as we can get. And funnily enough, we do find it. We banish our Thought Ruler, burn for 1,000. Just force out the Cyber Valley here. They don't have a good normal summon. If you take a look at their grave, while they do have Dekoichi, they aren't ahead enough, or they aren't behind enough to really justify Black Rosing. And there isn't a better 7 that can defeat a Caius. Now here I go for a Black Rose. I just want to clear this. And also it procs Returner, Plague Spreader, Synchro Summon. This is exact lethal. Going into game 3, Jesus fucking Christ, what is his hand? Alright, we're going to special summon Cyber Dragon, tribute for Gores, burn for 1,000, and pray that this gets us there. We'll just go ahead and walk over the Gemalk, set the Cobalt Hedgehog, and just pass. We'll tribute summon the second Caius, they Judgment. We'll walk over the Dekoichi, the Book of Moon, that's fine. Rhino is a bit of a pain, but we get a Gores. Again, they soft cheat, but it is what it is. We Chaos Sork, they banish. We get to Black Salvo, no targets, but Quillbolt gets us to Catastor. They'll get in for 14 more. DD Crow, the Black Salvo. Cyber Dragon off the top lets us Caius, banish the face down to Koichi, get in for lethal, and that is game. Now for our last replay, we are against Blackwing. As you can see here, Black Whirlwind Shura, and 4 back row. Huge pain in the ass, but doesn't match up very well against Jinzo. We just need to find it. We do just pass on our turn 1 board. No real reason to commit to anything. We found the Jinzo. Big punish. Future Fusion. The only thing I'm really scared of here is a copy of, what's it called? Shura. So I Chaos Sork to banish. Gallus does get us there, and this is lethal damage. Sometimes you just kill people. I don't know what to say. Now, going second, I do board into Raikou because it matches really well against Shura. But ultimately, we've opened a crusty hand. Cobalt Hedgehog, never something you want to see. We go for Merchant. I am okay with taking the loss in tempo for Shura. For the potential to high roll with Merchant. Unfortunately, we don't. We only hit 3, which sucks. We take 17. They gain 6. Magical Android is a shockingly annoying card for us to out, and the Kalut has basically lost us the game. We're gonna Avarice, trying to find something, just anything, but we don't. And I believe here's where we scoop them up. No, we just set the Raikou pass. They summon Dad, and that's just it. Could I have summoned that Raikou? I don't remember. Anyways, we've drawn Cannon Soldier again. We're just too good. Raikou does beat the Shura here, and our mills, while they're not fantastic, they are something. We set Plagues. They set a Snowman Eater. I'll tribute summon Caius. They'll banish, or they'll Judgment the Caius, so I can't banish it. Thankfully, I have the pieces for a second Caius, so it goes through. They'll take 24, pass turn. Now, in retrospect, I should not have done this. In retrospect, I had them dead, because if I activated Plague Spreaders on me, putting Dark Creator on top of my deck, Gallus was exact lethal. However, I did not see this line until now, so I don't. Next up, Cannon Soldier, Prio, Tribute, that kills them. And that is game. They did have Oppression, so they would have been able to stop me from using Gallus, but that wouldn't have stopped me from using Cannon Soldier to win anyways. But Gallus was a much cleaner option to win the game there. So that was the deck profile. If you enjoyed it, if you liked what you saw, if you liked the gameplay, if you liked the deck itself, please stick around. I'm going to try to upload more frequently in the coming months. As for the deck itself, if you want to copy it, tinker with it, play it on your own, I'll leave a link in the description. And once again, thank you to Jeff in the Edison Format Discord for posting the list that this was originally based off of. It's extremely fun and something I've legitimately built in paper I love so much. If you want to see more Edison content, just let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all for the next deck profile.